I've had anxiety for most of my life, and nothing has helped me quite like this weird tapping thing called EFT or emotional freedom techniques. You might have heard of it. It's been around for decades now. But when I first came across it, it was more than 25 years ago. And at that particular time, not a lot of people knew about it, but it's one of these tools that it literally has been life changing for me. And it's been particularly helpful in these mature years, shall we say, because one of the unfortunate side effects of perimenopause and menopause is that your anxiety can get, if you're prone to anxiety, it can get a lot worse. And that was the case with me. Just kind of daily feelings of doom or gloom, just this underlying anxiety that I couldn't shake. And for a long time, I didn't know what it was. It was just, there wasn't anything I could really identify, but I just felt like the world was closing in on me. When I discovered that it was a very common thing during perimenopause and menopause, that helped a lot. But the other thing that was hugely helpful or enormously helpful, one or the other for me, was tapping. And if you're plagued with overthinking, people pleasing, maybe you're playing small, you feel stuck in your life, this is something that will help you in all those other areas as well. So, I guess a really good story I can share with you. I shared in an earlier video that I had extreme anxiety when I was a teenager. I think people that know me or knew me back then still know me today. I don't think really understood how bad my anxiety was as a teenager. I was filled with anxiety almost on a daily basis. And I'm not sure why, but in any case, if I had had this tool when I was a teenager, my life back then would have been very, very different. And I know I'm not the only one. I'm sure that a lot of teenagers, a lot of you watching this video, you probably experienced a lot of anxiety as a teenager as well. It's, rough period of your life. But fast forward, I discovered EFT about 25 years ago, but where I really saw a huge difference was with public speaking. So that was one of the things as a teen and in my 20s that gave me nightmares, especially in school. Like if I knew that I had to do a presentation in school, it would immediately scare the crap out of me. And I'd be having nightmares about having to do that presentation for the entire rest of the semester. So fast forward, I'm working in a career and I had to actually travel across the country doing presentations on some products for the company that I was working for at the time. And management was going to be there. There was going to be like hundreds, people in some cases at some of these seminars, professional environment. There were going to be clients, and I was scared poopless. And so I just really doubled down on my tapping around my anxiety on the topic of public speaking. And when I got up there that first day to begin my presentation, I just felt this calm overtake me, and I was able to get through it no problem. I did multiple presentations that week and it was great. I actually really enjoyed it. So it's a tool that is absolutely life changing. So for those of you that aren't familiar with EFT tapping, I can just go through a little demonstration right now and just give you an intro. We'll get into some specific videos later on here on this channel, but just to give you a little bit of a demo, it has to do with tapping on these acupressure points. So the first one is the side of the hand here, and we just tap there and we start with a setup statement that might sound something like, even though I have this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. And we typically say it 3 times. Even though I have this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. And then we start going around these points. This anxiety, this anxiety, this anxiety. I feel so anxious. All this anxiety, I feel it in my solar plexus. My stomach feels unsettled. Feel so anxious and so on. And we basically you might have to do 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds. And typically what you want to do is measure on a scale of 1 to 10 when you start where you're at. So maybe you're feeling your anxiety levels an 8 out of 10 when you start. By the time you do 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds, that was one round that we did earlier, hopefully you'll see that number coming down. Typically it does for me. Typically it might come down a couple of points at least, if not all the way down. And you might find that you're sighing or that you're yawning. All of this is good. It's signs that your body is letting go of the stress and anxiety. So hopefully this intro was helpful. Like I said, we'll create some videos on this channel in the future. Now, how this all ties in with the rest of this channel, we're here for over 50 women who are maybe feeling stuck, they're ready to reinvent themselves, and might also have an interest in the law of attraction, specifically the law of assumption and identity shifting. So a big part of that is nervous system regulation, and EFT is absolutely helpful with that. And that's why I wanted to incorporate into this discussion. And at this stage of our journey as well, we accumulate a lot of events, when we're over 50. So that might be different losses at this stage. I've lost both of my parents. I lost my beloved dog 3 years ago. I have a new puppy now, but I have so much to be grateful for. But there's been some losses and some upsetting things that have happened over the years that, have caused trauma, I would say. And T-tapping has definitely helped with that. So we're getting into the most glorious time of our lives. So it's time to shed some of those things that have caused us pain over the years. What else did I want to say? I guess the other point to sharing this little intro to EFT, tying back to the whole identity shifting thing, that clearing out this garbage with EFT tapping is what can help us to adopt this new identity, this reinvented version of ourselves, so that we can live our best lives we'll say the last half of our lives, okay? Maybe it's the last quarter, but we'll say the last half of our lives, okay? And thanks very much for joining me today. If you haven't subscribed, do that down below. And let me know in the comments if you've tried EFT before. Have you heard of EFT? And thanks for being here. Take care.